It's Maggie. And tonight I'm dropping a bombshell that just landed in my own damn lap. 10 years. That's how long I thought a chapter was closed, locked down, gone forever. But life's a twisted novelist, isn't it? Because today the ghost of my past showed up not in a haunting, but in a heavy box of letters. The digital clock on my bedside table glared 2:17 a.m., insomnia, my oldest frenemy. Usually these dark hours are my writing time, my sanctuary, a place where I just spill everything onto midnight on Reddit. But not tonight. Tonight my hands are shaking, hovering over this stack of innocent-looking envelopes next to my cold chamomile. They came today. A heavy box just dumped by the mailman. No return address, just one thing typed stark and clean on the top envelope. To midnight on Reddit. My handle. My public alias. A chill colder than this night air snaked down my spine. Who the hell in this massive digital world knows my pen name and my physical address? My Reddit space, that's my fortress. My anonymous confessional. I built it brick by brick, piece by painful piece after everything. And now it felt breached. My heart. It was pounding. Not fear, not exactly. More like the earth rumbling under my feet, a fault line I thought was dead suddenly grinding back to life. Curiosity, a venomous whisper, dragged me closer. I reached for the top envelope, my fingers trembling. The paper felt expensive, heavy, not some casual note. This was deliberate. I tore it open. The sound, a sharp rip in the silence, felt too loud. Inside, a single sheet folded tight. My eyes locked onto the cursive. And my breath gone. I knew that handwriting. Every loop, every slant. It was him. The man I hadn't seen in over 2 decades. The man who had shattered my world into a million pieces. A broken gasp tore from my throat. The first letter. It wasn't a letter at all. It was a shard. A whisper from a past I had buried alive. Remember that small dusty bookstore on Elm Street? The one with the leaky roof where you found that first edition of Wuthering Heights? I spent 3 years going there every Saturday hoping to see you walk through the door just one more time. The scent of old paper and dust still reminds me of you and of the quiet magic we found there. My breath hitched. Elm Street, leaky roof, my first edition. How did he know? How could anyone remember such a microscopic detail from so long ago? The world spun, violent, after years of dead calm. This wasn't just a memory. This was our memory, a whispered secret. How could he possibly know the specificity wasn't nostalgic? It was a damn violation. It was a punch to the gut. I ripped another, then another. Frantic now, they weren't random. No. This was a meticulously compiled catalog of my life, a mosaic of my past written in his hand. Each short missive, sometimes just a sentence, was a direct reference to a story, a memory, a preference I had meticulously, intimately shared within the digital pages of Midnight on Reddit. He hadn't just stumbled onto my page. He'd devoured it. Every single word, every reflection, every quiet joy, every lingering sorrow. He traced my footsteps through my own damn written words. He knew my life, my current life. The lavender shortbread you always baked for solace, remember, the way the scent filled your small apartment. After a tough day, I tried making it once. It tasted like regret and powdered sugar and a profound emptiness. That small patch of wildflowers by the old lighthouse where you said you felt most free. The one where we sat for hours watching the waves crash, talking about everything and nothing. I visited it every summer for a decade. The wind still hummed your name through the tall grass, a mournful song for what I had lost. The way you'd hum that obscure French melody when you were deep in thought, your brow furrowed your fingers, tracing patterns on your cheek. I've searched every corner of the internet for it just to hear it again, to feel a flicker of your presence in my world. My head was spinning. This wasn't a blast from the past. This was an invasion, an excavation of my soul. Every letter, every single one directly pointed to a specific post, a secret, a quiet confession to the universe. And he had heard it. He had listened. And the sheer volume, it was suffocating. 3,650 letters. That number burned in my mind. 10 years. Every single day. That's not love. That's obsession. That's a physical manifestation of a persistent, quiet, relentless pursuit. And a cold dread started to creep in. This man. The man who destroyed me. He'd been watching, reading me, for years. He knew my current thoughts, my quiet habits, my sacred spaces, my sanctuary, the one I built piece by piece after he tore my world apart. It felt exposed, vulnerable. Was this some twisted attempt at reconciliation, or something else? Something darker? Could I ever trust him again, after how he left me, after he broke me? Could a heart once so irrevocably shattered ever let him back in? The question screamed in my head. The box of letters, a silent monument to a past I'd buried so deep now, felt like a ticking time bomb in my quiet room. I was 35 when he first pulled me out of my shell. Before him, my life was a carefully constructed fortress. Small, safe, meticulously arranged. I'm an introvert fam. The real deal. Not shy, just deeply internal. Solitude powers me up. Socializing drains me dry. My comfort zone, my apartment, my books, my writing. The quiet hum of my own thoughts. Love. That was for novels. A beautiful, terrifying force I just wasn't built for. My sensitivity, it meant I felt everything. Every glance, every word, every subtle shift. The thought of that kind of vulnerability, paralysis. Then Liam walked in. He was charming, attentive, persistent, but not in a pushy way. He was gentle. He saw my quiet world, and instead of trying to drag me out of it, he quietly, patiently expanded it. He'd find the quietest corners of loud cafes so we could read our books side by side. He'd plan picnics in secluded parks, just us, listening to the birds sketching, dreaming. He didn't demand I change. He just showed me my quiet self was enough. More than enough. Worthy of grand adventures, even if those adventures were just a few steps past my front door. He was the first person who truly saw me. The introverted soul, the one buried under layers of polite smiles and careful words. He remembered my obscure favorite authors, the exact way I liked my tea, the tiny nuances of my moods. He celebrated my small victories, soothed my anxieties. He made me feel safe, safe enough to finally open up, to let go, to truly love. We fell in love slowly, gently. 5 years, an unfolding, a delicate flower in the sheltered garden of my heart. I, who had never truly loved before, poured every ounce of my being into him. He was my world, my confidant, the one who understood the silent language of my soul, the one who truly cared. He pulled me out of my comfortable solitude, showed me a world I never knew I wanted, a life that felt richer, more vibrant, just because he was in it. Our love was a quiet masterpiece, built on shared moments, mutual respect, a profound understanding, or so I thought. Then the cracks. Slow at first, almost invisible, a forgotten preference, a mistaken detail about a story I told him. I brushed it off. We all screw up, right? But it kept happening. More often. He'd confuse my favorite author with some generic bestseller. He'd forget my coffee order, bringing me some sweet milky concoction instead of my usual dark roast. Or worse, he'd recall a detail about a trip I'd never taken, confusing me with an ex or a colleague. Emma. The lines started to blur, each mistake a tiny chip in my trust, a discordant note in our perfect song. My sensitive nature made these slights feel like seismic tremors. I didn't voice them much, not at first. Introverts process things internally. I'd chew on them, replay them, overthink, desperately trying to find a logical reason for this growing detachment. Maybe he was stressed. Maybe I was the problem. I just kept telling myself that. Anything but the truth. Then came the conversation that sealed our fate. 5 years in, marriage whispers from friends, from my mom. I loved him. I wanted forever. That quiet home, the books, the baking, our 2 cats, park picnics, all of it. So one night at our favorite Italian place, I took the leap, every ounce of courage I had. So, I started, my voice shaky but firm. About us, our future, marriage. He looked up from his pasta, distracted, a nervous twitch in his eye. Oh, that. Yeah, sure. Someday. He waved a dismissive hand. Then his eyes shot past me, focused, a soft smile, but not for me. Oh, wait, look at that. Sarah just spilled coffee all over herself. Poor thing, that must sting. He stood, almost knocked his chair over, rushed to her. Sarah, new colleague, young, pretty, getting a lot of his attention lately. He knelt, fussing, offering his handkerchief. It was a kind gesture. Normal. But in that moment after the question I had just dared to ask, after laying my soul bare, it was a deliberate, cruel dismissal. He was utterly absorbed. completely oblivious to the gaping wound he'd just ripped through my heart. He didn't even glance back. My stomach churned, bile in my throat. Not from the wine. From the bitter, acrid taste of reality, I watched him, his back to me, focused on another woman, while the most important question of my life hung in the air, suffocating. When he finally came back, still murmuring apologies about Sarah's accident, still oblivious, I spoke, quiet, but with an iron edge. I think we should break up. He froze, mid-chew. His eyes widened, then narrowed. Annoyance, not surprise. Oh, okay. He checked his watch. That damn watch. Look, I've got a meeting. Can we talk about this later? I'm really late. He bolted, no second glance, no apology, just out the door. I knew, with an icy certainty, his meeting was with Sarah, not to fix us, just to keep fussing over her minor burn. My heart didn't just crack, it exploded. For an introvert like me giving that much, letting someone in that deep, it's monumental, and he treated it with such careless indifference, such profound disrespect. He stomped all over my exposed heart, with muddy damn boots, and didn't even notice. I spent the next week in a haze, like a zombie. Packed my stuff, one box at a time, each item a ghost of a love that was dying. He didn't notice, too busy, too caught up in his own world, his meetings. He thought I was sulking, being dramatic, expected me to snap out of it, come back. He just kept rushing out, oblivious, to the growing emptiness, the disappearing boxes, my cats, my silence. A week later, the final nail. I was clearing out my desk at the office, ready to quit, when I saw it, gleaming, instantly recognizable, a Chanel bag. On Brenda's desk, my colleague. The exact bag. The one I'd hinted at, dreamed of. The one he'd promised, said he was saving for. A special occasion. I walked over, my voice calm, too calm. That's beautiful, Brenda. Where'd you get it? Brenda beamed. Oh, isn't it? Our boss gave it to me, said it was a bonus for my outstanding performance this quarter. Can you believe it? He's so generous. My blood froze. Our boss, Liam, the man who had dismissed me, forgotten me, gave her my dream. Outstanding performance. Performance was 5 years of my unwavering love. My deepest vulnerability, my absolute devotion, was that not outstanding performance enough, my quiet presence, my steadfast heart, nothing. My composure shattered. A cold surgical fury. I walked into his office. No knock. He looked up, startled. His eyes widened. He saw it. The raw volcanic rage. The kind of rage an introvert usually buries so deep it's invisible. The Chanel bag, I said. Low, trembling, but lethal. The one you told me you were saving for. For me, you gave it to Brenda. He stammered, caught off guard. Oh, that? Well, yes, she did have a really great quarter. I was going to get you one later, a better one. For our anniversary, you know how much I love you. The lie was paper thin, see-through. I knew, every fiber of my being. His heart wasn't mine. It never had been. Not in the way that mattered. I walked out of his office. Out of that company, out of that city. Within a week, I had to run, had to escape, to heal. I burned every bridge, changed my number, deleted social media, found a tiny cottage by the coast, hundreds of miles away, a desperate flight, a self-imposed exile, but necessary. My heart was too broken, my trust too shattered, to stay. The cottage became my sanctuary. Its empty rooms slowly filled with my own quiet energy, the ocean, its roar, my lullaby, its vastness, its indifference, a strange comfort to my shattered soul. The wild beauty of the coast reminded me that even after storms, new life emerges. I started Midnight on Reddit, not for fame, but for me, a digital diary, to process the quiet, profound shifts inside. I wrote about finding new hiking trails, the comfort of a perfectly brewed cup of tea, the peace in a sunset. I wrote about rediscovering my passions, the simple joys, reading, baking, gardening. Each post, a step, a testament to healing, a quiet reclaiming of my worth, my story. I called it Midnight on Reddit because it felt like sharing my truth, my observations, with a community of kindred spirits, in the quiet hours, It was my rebirth, a slow, deliberate blossoming from the ashes. Years passed, 10 years of rebuilding. The sharp edges of heartbreak softened, replaced by a dull ache. Sometimes it flared, but it rarely incapacitated. I found peace in my solitude, in the connections with my readers, in the quiet rhythm of my days. I was, for the first time in a very long time, truly at peace. My life was simple, meaningful. Most importantly, it was mine. And then the box of letters arrived. As I sat there, the moonlight slicing through my living room, I kept pulling letters from that box, each one a testament to his relentless pursuit. His 3,650 letters. 10 years of him searching, longing. He hadn't just looked for me. He had hunted me. The real me. The one I laid bare on midnight on Reddit. The air in the room grew heavy, thick with unspoken words, with years of regret and longing. I traced every bookstore in every small town for hundreds of miles from our old city, hoping to find you, browse the dusty shelves. One letter read. The ink was slightly faded, like it had been written a lifetime ago. I asked about authors you mentioned, hoping anyone might recognize your quiet inquiries, your distinctive preference for first editions. The silence that followed each inquiry was deafening, a constant reminder of how utterly lost I was without you. I drove past that old lighthouse dozens of times, Maggie, just to stand where you said you felt free, imagining you there, the wind in your hair, your face turned towards the vast, indifferent ocean. It was a ghost hunt fueled by regret, by a desperate need to find a piece of you, a shadow of what we once were. Every visit was a fresh wound. I learned French just so I could hum that obscure melody. You loved the one you always sang when lost in thought, your brow furrowed in concentration. It felt like the closest I could get to you, to the person I'd lost, to the intimacy I had so carelessly discarded. It became my own private melancholic symphony, a desperate attempt to conjure your memory. When I finally stumbled upon Midnight on Reddit, a random click during a sleepless night, a serendipitous search for stories that captured a certain quiet melancholy, I didn't recognize your name, but the words, the stories, they were undeniably yours. Your unique way of seeing the world, your quiet reflections, your love for lavender shortbread, your fondness for stray cats, your gentle wisdom. It was like finding a secret map to your soul, a treasure unearthed after years of fruitless searching, and I devoured every single entry, every whispered secret, every shared memory. It was you, all of you, and I knew it instantly. He spilled his guts, his guilt, a raw, unflinching account of his agonizing realization, how badly he'd screwed up. He recounted the empty years without me, the hollowness, the profound lessons. What true love, true attention, true understanding, all of it. He spoke of growth, of self-reflection, of a profound regret that had shaped him, forcing him to face his own ego, his carelessness, stripping away the superficial layers he'd once clung to. His words painted a brutal, honest picture of a man utterly transformed by loss. I didn't just forget your preferences. I forgot you, Maggie. I was so caught up in myself and what I thought was important, my career, external validation, shallow distractions, that I overlooked the most precious thing in my life. I mistook convenience for connection, fleeting pleasure for enduring love, and I paid the steepest price for that monumental blindness. I understand now that an introvert's heart once given is a sacred trust, a fragile, exquisite gift that must be cherished, and I broke that trust. My superficiality, my need for external validation, my self-absorption led me to disregard your quiet depth, your unwavering loyalty. I am so profoundly, deeply sorry for the pain I caused, for shattering your beautiful heart into a million pieces. I tried to find you physically, Maggie, in every city you ever mentioned, in every cafe we ever visited, in every park we ever picnicked in, but you were always one step ahead, or perhaps simply too good at disappearing when you needed to heal. You were a ghost, and I deserved that. It was only when I stopped looking with my eyes and started listening with my heart, when I began to seek the echo of your soul in your words, that I finally found you. Your stories on Midnight on Reddit became my guide, my lifeline, the beacon that led me back to you. They were the only way I could ever hope to truly understand. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, not after the pain I caused, the years of silent suffering you must have endured, but I needed you to know. I needed you to know that the man who walked away that day, the careless fool who dismissed your love, is not the man writing these letters. Life has a way of humbling us, of forcing us to confront our deepest flaws, to learn lessons through the agonizing crucible of loss. And my biggest flaw, my most devastating regret, was losing you. My biggest failure was letting you go. I sat amidst the scattered envelopes, the weight of his words pressing down, A physical presence in the quiet room, the raw honesty, the depth of his understanding of my introverted nature, the profound regret. It was overwhelming, disarming. This wasn't the careless man who dismissed me for a coffee spill, the one who gave my dream to another woman. This was someone who had truly changed, someone who had spent 10 years searching, yearning, understanding. He hadn't just sent me letters, he had sent me a piece of his transformed soul, a testament to a decade of profound introspection, painful growth he had truly unequivocally learned. My initial dread, it had slowly miraculously transmuted into a dizzying mix of emotions. There was the familiar protective barrier around my heart, the instinct to guard against more pain. But beneath it, a tiny fragile seed of hope. Persistent. Could this really be him? Could he have truly grasped the magnitude of his past actions, the quiet devastation he had wrought? He still loved me. After all these years, after all the silence, after all the healing, he still loved me. And in the quiet solitude of my living room, moonlight streaming through the window, hundreds of his letters scattered around me, each a whisper from a past I thought was dead. I had to admit, a part of my heart, the part I thought was irrevocably broken, felt a shocking, undeniable surge of something like happiness, a profound, almost unbearable sense of being seen, truly seen, after so damn long. The question now wasn't whether he had changed. It was whether I had changed enough to believe in a second chance. Could the introverted girl who had built a fortress around her heart dare to open it again? Could the agony of the past truly be overshadowed by the promise of a future rewritten by 3,650 letters? My journey of self-discovery, it had been long, hard-won. Was I ready to share it or risk it with the man who had once shattered it all? The night stretched before me, filled with ghosts, and the glimmer of an uncertain yet undeniably hopeful future. The soft glow of my laptop screen, ready for my midnight on Reddit session, now felt less like a confessional and more like a pivotal moment, a chance to decide the next damn chapter of a story I thought was finished. So here I am, fam, my loyal listeners on Infidelity Love Lies. After all these years, I truly thought that chapter was closed, sealed shut, gone. I built a life, a beautiful, peaceful life, on my own terms, filled with my own quiet joys. But sometimes life circles back in ways you never expect. It throws you paths you thought were forever closed, offers second chances you never dared to dream of. This message, this insane reach across decades, it shattered my carefully constructed peace, left me at a crossroads, one I never saw coming. Should I open that door again? To a love that once broke me, but now it offers a profound, unexpected shot at redemption, a future that was once unimaginable. What would you do if you were me? Listen, the quietest hearts, they love the deepest. They absorb every nuance, remember every detail, and when they're hurt, they just let go. Silently, disappearing without a trace. Their departure, not malice. Self-preservation. A quiet scream, in a world that didn't hear their whispers. And maybe, just maybe, the person left behind, they need a lifetime to truly understand. All the little things they overlooked, all the subtle shifts they missed, all the unspoken words that mattered most. Their journey to understanding it can be as long, as arduous, as the journey of the one who walked away. It's a lesson in patience, in introspection, and in the profound, often quiet impact of our actions. What are your thoughts, fam? Have you ever faced a turning point like this? Had a past relationship resurface in a way that shook everything you thought you knew about healing? Share your own stories, your insights, your wisdom. In the comments below, let's reflect on this together. You can find more of my stories and reflections and hopefully follow my journey right here on Infidelity Love Lies.